Take that. Jose Molina. Great kid, man. I met him a couple times. Saw him play live. I was like tripping. Just like that little trio. It was incredible. Yeah, I was like, I like this kid. So yeah, Hollywood knew, huh? I don't know. Just you and me, Connie. That's all we need. That's all we need, babe. That's all we need. All right.
Something that I believe doesn't exist on the internet. An angle that no one would think to use in an investigation. But think about what we've covered. The majority is now willing to accept that Epstein was funding a genetics operation, was a part of a secret society, and was experimenting with consciousness and special abilities. Everyone's cool with that. Conspiracies are basically becoming mainstream. But hold up, because there are things conspiracy theorists have been saying for decades. And you know what else they've been saying? Going back at least to the 60s. I have an idea. A way to build the case that goes beyond the files.
The Queen. Queen of Diamonds. He's smoking a cigarette. Interesting.
Hollywood. This
Wag the Dog. Remember that great movie? Oh, yeah.
genre of movie exposés, connecting films to real-world conspiracies, encoding agendas hidden in plain sight, has been a cornerstone of the internet since the beginning of YouTube. Without a shadow of a doubt, you're about to witness the veil be lifted.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Think about it. When building leads, sometimes it's necessary to start forming hypotheses.
No, I haven't seen that yet, Connie. Not yet.
Because sometimes that's the only way to search for more leads. You need a framework. But let's make it simple.
No.
I think
Yes.
the majority of
Not
everyone
yet.
who clicked on this video can accept that Hollywood is a propaganda
Not yet.
machine. I think we all know that. But to what degree? Watch. We're gonna test it. This is how any real investigation works. You start with a working hypothesis, something specific and testable, then you run it against evidence. If it doesn't hold up, you throw it out. That's fair, right? Okay, so here's what we're testing. Do the elites use Hollywood to encode their agenda in plain sight? But this test only works if you understand two things, and I'm going to show you both. One, that secret societies have been behind Hollywood since the beginning. And two, movies aren't just entertainment, they're initiation devices. The theater is the temple, the screen is the ritual. I'm about to show you how Hollywood has been telling you to your face what's been going on for at least 60 years. And we just accepted it. Did nothing. My thesis is simple. Hollywood knew. And there's one movie that I believe proves it. Why? Because it connects directly to the files. Now let me present my case. Now I know what skeptics are going to say. Pattern recognition, survivorship bias, Texas sharpshooter fallacy. That's when you shoot first and draw the target after. You watch 1,000 movies and some are going to match reality. And they're right about all that. Unless you have the target first. We have the files. The documents drew the target. I'm just checking which movies hit it. So no, I'm not just going off of vibes, and I'm not saying trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. I got this.
So no, I'm not just going off of vibes, and I'm not saying trust me, bro. If you want the truth, just watch this video in full. I'll walk you through every piece of it. Okay, so before I show you the film, can we move past the whole triangle Illuminati meme? This exact meme is why we can't pursue this study further. They don't even hide it, so I'm not sure how people can think this is a joke or some conspiracy.
Well, I think it points to them all being in the same club, man. I think that's what it points to, but you know. Right? I think that's what it points to.
So I'm not sure how people can think this is a joke or some conspiracy. Let me show you how you prove this. In order to do so, you must learn the art and science of occult film analysis. Yes, a new occult art form, and you're about to learn it. I'm not going to explain it, I'm going to show you.
Ready to go to class, ladies and gentlemen? Ready to go to class. The art and science of occult film analysis.
I'm not going to explain it, I'm going to show you. It's time for you to wake up that you've been secretly initiated into a brotherhood from childhood. I will explain this by the end of the video. So there's already a lot here, but what makes this even more next level is, well, we have the files. Yeah, it's about to get crazy.
We got the files, Mongos.
Let me just give you a taste of how connected Epstein was to Hollywood. A payment ledger, $469,000 in 11 months from Jeffrey Epstein to a Hollywood premiere publicist. A Hollywood producer, $326,000 in debt, listing his movie fees to Epstein as proof he can pay it back. Bones, Enchanted, Dirty Grandpa. Epstein told him to send this info to him. How much are you asking for? A fake audition. Same producer writes to Epstein about a girl who had a rough audition. Quote, I could have done the fake version of an audition and gotten her on tape. Then offers, I can set up the fake audition for her and have her loved on like crazy. Aspiring actresses solicited for dinner with Woody Allen. Quote, if you have any aspiring actresses, Woody and I are having dinner on Sunday. And a private film screening. 3 years after his conviction, the guest list. Eric Schmidt, Lorne Michaels, Brian Williams, a Rothschild. Epstein emails the CEO of Activision Blizzard about visiting SpaceX with the girls, then writes, taking girls after to Bel Air. And the CEO of DreamWorks is in the files? And
Oh wow, just you and I, Connie. That's all we need, baby. We got it.
that's just a preview.
That's all we need.
We have a lot to cover. But
We
I
got a lot-
wanted to show
We got
you
a lot
that.
of shit to cover here, man. Yeah. Entertainment, right? There's just a whole spider web of shit to cover here.
And that's just a preview. We have a lot to cover. But I wanted to show you that first so that we can actually understand what we're dealing with here. Make sure you watch part 1 through part 3 before you watch this so that you can fully understand the context.
I watched part 1 and part 2. I streamed part 1. So yeah, I'm up to date here.
So what's this
We got
mystery
this.
film? The film that I believe exposes all of this, ironically, is literally called The Island, made in 2005. This movie's the blueprint, and they had the audacity to call it The Island and put a Freemason compass on the cover. These are the type of people that we're dealing with. It's a
Okay.
mockery.
Cool.
They're showing you the secrets right to your face. Let me show you. The Island, 2005, directed by Michael Bay, produced by DreamWorks, starring Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. 126 million budget. Okay, so
126 million.
the main
Damn.
premise is, in a near future underground facility, hundreds of people believe that they're the last survivors of a global contamination.
Yeah, I remember the movie now. I remember. The Island. Good movie. I was like, those people are getting fucked over. They think they're leaving the island or they're leaving. They get to go outside and spoiler alert. It doesn't happen.
Hundreds of people believe that they're the last survivors of a global contamination. Their only hope is a lottery win. And if you win, you get sent to the island, the last uncontaminated paradise on Earth. But as the movie goes on, we find out that the lottery is a lie. These people are clones, grown as insurance policies for wealthy sponsors. When your sponsor needs a new kidney, a new heart, a surrogate pregnancy, you win the lottery. They then harvest your organs and you die. Okay, but the film bombed. What's crazy is I actually watched this when I was younger, but it's one of those movies that you just kind of forget about.
Yeah.
162 million worldwide on a 126 million budget, and their critics called it a dumb Michael Bay action movie. So of course, no one really remembers it. And that's actually a pretty key.
Is he wearing a mask under his chin? What a manga.
So of course, no one really remembers it. And that's actually a pretty key data point. The action in the film is not very good. It's not well thought out at all. For a 126 million Michael Bay movie, the action is surprisingly weak. I mean, think about it. Where did this movie even come from? Michael Bay, really? Sure, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of VFX shots. But to me, it seems like a lot of the money went to the blueprint, the message. And I'm not the only one who sees this.
Face diaper. I haven't heard that one in a minute. Thanks for reminding me. It's a face diaper, yeah.
The message. And I'm not the only one who sees this. Right now, the entire internet would agree this film is extremely sus. But now it's time to prove it. Alright, so we're about to get started. I just need to make a crucial distinction that many people new to this field of study may miss. People literally think Michael Bay directed this film. Remember the framework we're working from. What you will witness in this film, which is a common pattern in many films, especially in the early 2000s, is you have a front-end director and a back-end director.
There's a face in that explosion. You see that? Right there? Center, right? A face right in the explosion. Lips, nose, eye, one eye. Just saying, man. That's all I'm saying, Mongos.
You have a front-end director and a back-end
That's
director.
all I'm saying.
Basically, an exoteric director and an esoteric director.
Oh, ain't that something?
But just to be clear, this isn't common knowledge and there's no proof that this is true. However, I'm about to show you this is the case, and you, the audience, can be the judge. So, for The Island, there's the front-end director. That's the guy whose name's on the poster. Michael Bay. Explosions, Puma ads, car chases, the hype music. That's the entertainment. That's what's going to keep you in your seat for 2 hours. It's pretty obvious when he's directing. Okay, but then there's the back-end director. You never see their name, and we cannot say for certain who this is. But anyone with any ounce of film knowledge will be able to notice a difference in directing. They work through the script, the set design, the framing, the symbols placed in the background. They encode information into the film that the front-end director may not even understand is there.
Kind of like them NASA employees. They just sit in front of their monitor. They're like, yeah, this is good. You know, they don't know fuck all. But, you know, looks good. We got a good camera on that rocket. Okay, check.
To the film that the front-end director may not even understand is there. When I show you what's inside this movie, you're going to see both directors working. And once you can tell them apart, you'll never watch a film the same way again.
We're going to get ruined, Connie. Damn it. What the hell? We're flat earthers. What the hell? What else could surprise us? Nothing, right? Just another day in the neighborhood, baby. Just another day in the red pill. Yeah, here, let's go. Are you ready? Let's ruin it for the rest of our lives. Are you ready? You'll never watch a movie the same again. Well, I don't think I've watched one the same since I've been a flat earther, but you know, that's crazy.
And once you can tell them apart, you'll never watch a film the same way again. With that, you know the film, you know the premise and the framework. Now let me show you why this isn't just another movie review. This movie is connected to the files. Let's start with the Scarlett connection since she is the main star of the movie. EFTA 01846326. Epstein's own words. Ask Woody's assistant if they want to invite Scarlett Johansson, as she is in New York. That is okay. So in 2012, Epstein personally requests Scarlett Johansson at his dinner through Woody Allen. EFTA 02176395. Catherine, Woody's assistant, Woody said he has a call into Scarlett, but he doubts she'll be able to come because she's working. But the attempt is documented. EFTA 01618751. Epstein to Anil Ambani. I'm glad you prefer young blondes to old ones. I had some guests here with unusual taste. The Indian billionaire Anil Ambani tells Epstein his next movie is with Scarlett Johansson, and that was Epstein's response. Now this is not a direct connection to the film, but let's just remind ourselves of this EFTA from part 1, because this is going to set the context of what you're about to see. EFTA 02604748, a fun spreadsheet for the designer baby and human cloning company. Someone sent Epstein a use of funds spreadsheet for a designer baby and human cloning company. August 2018. Okay, so DreamWorks released a film about cloning humans for the wealthy, and the CEO of DreamWorks had a screening event where Peggy Siegel directly invited Epstein to, the man who was being pitched a literal cloning company. Okay, so let's talk about this DreamWorks CEO, Katzenberg. Here's what ties the whole thing together. In 1979, a low-budget film called Parts, the Clonus horror, screened at Paramount Pictures. It has the same plot as The Island, clones grown for the wealthy. And the man who watched that screening was Jeffrey Katzenberg. He was VP of feature production at Paramount. According to the filmmaker, Katzenberg told him, "If you can make that for under $1 million, I'd like to see what you could do with 10." 25 years later, Katzenberg's company, DreamWorks, released The Island, $126 million budget, 90 documented points of similarity, and they settled the lawsuit for 7 figures, term sealed. Okay, so now let me show you the paper trail. EFTA 02025245, September 4th, 2012. An invite goes out from Allison Reddington at the Peggy Siegel Company, and I want you to look at the CCs, Peggy Siegel herself, and the invite says, Jeffrey Katzenberg invites you to join director Peter Ramsey and producer Christina Steinberg for an intimate first look at DreamWorks Animation's Rise of the Guardians. This invite was sent directly to Epstein's personal email, EFTA 02160988. 2 days later, Epstein's executive assistant, Leslie Groff, forwards the invite internally and writes, quote, "Jeffrey will attend this movie screening this Sunday." EFTA 01886807, the RSVP chain. Epstein's assistant, "Do you want me to RSVP for the screening on Sunday, September 9th? Epstein replies, "Yes." And the response back is, "Great, I will RSVP you +1. +1. And then on the day of the screening, September 9th, 2012, Epstein emails Peggy, "I won't come tonight to the screening. Call if you get a chance." And Peggy writes back, "Where are you? Calling mobile right now. Of course you can come to anything." Then sends the details. It's the Rise of the Guardian, an amazing animated film Jeffrey Katzenberg is positioning for an Oscar. 5 p.m. at Dolby Screening Room. 6:30 p.m. casual dinner at the Monkey Bar for Katzenberg. If can't make film and want to see Jeffrey K, come. XOXO Peg. That's EFTA 02560713. We also must consider whether they're being secretive here. Now who is Peg? Well, the original invite was sent from the Peggy Siegel Company. Peggy CC'd by full name on EFTA 02025245. and EFTA 01886807, and the sign-off XOXOPEG matches another email from October 2016, EFTA 02041167, where Epstein's assistant reaches out to Peggy and says, "Hello, Peggy. Jeffrey wants you to know he is here all week in case you want to see him." And Peggy responds, "Just emailed him. I'm on it. We'll send a list tonight and more tomorrow. XOXO Peg." So let me break down what we're actually looking at here. Peggy Siegel is not just some random publicist who happened to know Epstein. EFTA 01852482 is a payment ledger from a company called Wagging Tail Entertainment Limited, and it shows $469,781 paid to Peggy Siegel Incorporated in just 11 months, January through November 2011, 37 checks, and almost $500,000. But it would seem that Wagging Tail isn't just some random company. There's another document, EFTA 01994205. This lays out the entire financial structure. It says, all expenses for the Peggy Siegel Company are paid by Wagging Tail Entertainment Limited. And Wagging Tail Entertainment Limited pays a commission fee to Peggy Siegel Incorporated.
60% commission. What? Of the revenue minus expenses, bro. What? Who gets 60% commission, man? Fuck. Okay. I gotta let me back it up. Back it up, Mongos. Holy cow. Shit, what the fuck?
The Peggy Siegel Company are paid by Wagging Tail Entertainment Limited. And Wagging Tail Entertainment Limited pays a commission fee to Peggy Siegel Incorporated. The commission fee is equal to 60% of revenue less expenses. So Epstein's money goes into Wagging Tail, Wagging Tail pays all of Peggy's expenses, and Peggy gets a 60% commission.
Damn, what a sweet deal. We call it a sweetheart deal, man. Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. Insane amount of money, exactly, right? It's just like stupid money. You and I could only wish to have that kind of money. That would be crazy, man. That would be crazy
all
money.
of Peggy's expenses, and Peggy gets a 60% commission. So she's the one, apparently, arranging screenings, dinners, and access to people like Jeffrey Katzenberg. She was still doing it in 2016, years after his conviction. And this isn't just me connecting dots. There are multiple articles online talking about how Epstein used Hollywood publicist Peggy Siegel to re-enter elite circles. And the Hollywood
There you go, Mongos. There you go.
reporter called it a symbiotic relationship. So, we can say that she was arranging dinners at Epstein's mansion with Prince Andrew, George Stephanopoulos, Katie Couric. The news article reported tens of thousands in consulting fees. But it seems that the actual payment ledger says $469,781. Okay, but the Peggy files are pretty crazy. EFTA 01857662, August 12th, 2011. An email chain between Epstein and Peggy. The subject line is, Accountant, Michael Rubenstein. They're discussing normal business stuff, and then Epstein writes, quote, "Let the accountant and Michaels do everything."
Exactly, Connie. Nailed it. Yep. Yep.
Normal business stuff, and then Epstein writes, quote, "Let the accountant and Michaels do everything. You schmooze and find me a baby mama." Peggy responds, quote, "A baby mama? If I was in 102, I would take that job in a nanosecond. Couldn't I be the auntie mom?"
I'd go back to the moon in a nanosecond. Anyway.
If I was in 102, I would take that job in a nanosecond. Couldn't I be the auntie mama? I would be excellent at that job.
I want to be the auntie mama. I be uncle mama. I'd be uncle daddy. Uncle daddy. Auntie mama.
A nanosecond. Couldn't I be the auntie mama? I would be excellent at that job. Here's the problem. You have to find someone who will take it as a business deal and not get crazy emotional. A girl who wants a certain life that she can't get any other way is a candidate. but must be stable like a rock. Take note of this conversation because by the end of the video,
Moonstruck. Yeah, that was a good movie. Fucking Cher and Nick Cage. Yeah, interesting.
stable like a
There's a
rock.
few other people in the movie. I can't remember. There's a couple people. Is it Moonstruck? Yeah.
And someone who will take it as a business deal and not get crazy emotional. A girl who wants a certain life that she can't get any other way is a candidate, but must be stable like a rock.
She's got to be stable, Connie. She's got to be stable. Check it, you know. Can't have some crazy bitch up in here, man. We need some stable.
Get any other way is a
The
candidate,
hell?
but must be stable like a rock. Take note of this conversation because by the end of the video,
James Caan?
you will read that email differently. Epstein replies,
We're going to read it
quote,
different.
I need great genes. Smart, pretty, funny. And Peggy comes back with, quote, I'm thinking this is a position for a European who understands the mistress, in this case baby mama, mentality. You need someone young without much of a career, maybe a professional student, someone who's kept and can just keep going to school, getting all sorts of degrees. Also, who doesn't have much of a family herself. The last thing you want is in-laws. And at the end of the
Fucking
same
crazy
chain,
fucking
Epstein
emails.
writes, no, but there is a commission paid from Wagging Tail. The same Wagging Tail. Again, they're being secretive. And that company was paying her $500,000 a year. EFTA 024-38648, October 19th, 2009. The subject line is tall kids. Peggy writes to Epstein, quote, remember when you asked me what is the most important trait for a child, and I said height, then intelligence? EFTA 024-33105, December 18th, 2009. Peggy's on a plane to Nairobi with her daughter, Maddie, heading to Kenya Safari that Epstein paid for, and she emails him from the plane, quote, can I bring a little baby bag for you? Or two? Boys or girls? So Madonna. EFTA 01831012, December 24th, 2010. Peggy writes Epstein from St. Barth's, quote, please be careful about walking around with 3 girls. Even though they're legal, I worry about your social resurrection. Resurrection?
What? Say what?
And then July 2012. EFTA 018777490. Leslie Groff relays a message from Peggy to Epstein. Quote, Peggy says that she does not want young girls with no last names at the screening on Wednesday night of the campaign. She says the press will be there. She requests over 30. Whoa, what? Girls at screenings? And then there's this. EFTA 01953263.
That sounds like a song. Girls at screenings. Girls at screenings. What?
And then there's this. EFTA 01953263. Epstein's personal reminder notes. His assistant sends him a list and says it's Denial Engine, Music as Lens, Leon Gettner, Katzenberg, Museum of Modern Music, Botstein, David Blaine, Benefit, Tish Game.
I met David Blaine. Yep. Yeah, I met him. Interesting guy, man. Anyway, moving on.
Botstein, David Blaine, Benefit, Tish Game, Gates, Dinner. Katzenberg is on the same reminder list as Gates. So the CEO of DreamWorks saw this cloning story in 1979. His studio remade it with the movie The Island in 2005, and he is in the files. Private screenings, Oscar dinners, personal invitations, all arranged through a publicist who Epstein paid $500,000 a year. The same publicist he asked to find me a baby mama with great genes, smart, pretty, and funny. And it would seem that Peggy knew about the girls, as he was told, no young girls with no last names. Basically, she's the bridge between Epstein and Hollywood. And some of these emails have a eugenics undertone.
Peggy,
Okay,
Peggy,
so you
Peggy,
have the
Peggy.
files and the connections. Now let me show you this film and you tell me if this is a coincidence. Sit back, get some snacks, and let's dive in. The film opens up and we're flying over.
Let's dive in. This, like anything, man. It's it's like anything. You're looking into it. You're checking it out. There's a million things to check out. There's a billion things to check out, but this one just found my interest. It's like, okay, who is putting together these interesting files that came out recently? And like, hey, man, what's going on with it? That's all. Yep. So, I think he's been doing a really good job of putting some of these files out there, the information, and he does it in a nice, calm, cool, interesting way. And that's why I'm playing this shit, man. It's really good, and it's just, it's just different than the mainstream shit out there, man. That some of that shit's really bad. Then there's a war going on too, man. So there's that. All right, so enjoy the show. Hang out. Don't hang out. It's all good, man. I'm enjoying this information. I think it's worthwhile consideration. There's some coincidence here, man.
This film and you tell me if this is a coincidence. Sit back, get some snacks, and let's dive in. The film opens up and we're flying over an island. And already we need to pay attention because this is a dream sequence. However, it becomes apparent that this is no normal dream. It's a false memory being implanted. We see this paradise, this island, and it looks heavenly.
That fucking horizon is flat as fuck, man. Look at how flat that horizon is. Shit. Yeah, I saw the movie too there, Angel. It's been a minute. It's probably been, I don't know, 10 years? It might be 10 years now. I don't know. It's been a minute.
We see this paradise, this island, and it looks heavenly, almost like an afterlife. But there's something very dark about this. There is an angelic woman, but also terrifying at the same time. This is a femme fatale Lucifer reference. Take note for later. Then we hear, "You're special. You have a very special purpose in life." And then, "You've been chosen." These are MK Ultra programmed messages. And right as this is happening, we get a butterfly on the screen. That's the signal for Monarch programming.
MK Ultra.
Screen. That's the signal for Monarch programming. Okay, but the thing is, you wouldn't see that if you were watching the film normally. This whole beginning sequence is in quick flashes. And there's also a shot where there's a memory of when he was 8 years old. Which is weird because there's no indication on why they chose 8. 8 is Saturn. We found out later that these clones don't have real memories. So why does he remember being 8? And in that same shot, one-eye symbolism. Pay attention to this, because there are countless one-eye symbols in this movie. 3 times, okay, it's a cool cinematic choice. 20 times, it's undeniable. It's being used as a control.
20 times, man. Are you kidding me? 20? You mongos. 20 mongos. Fuckers.
20 times, it's undeniable.
Fucking
It's being used as a control, enlightenment, and initiation symbol. We're going to be counting them. And then we see hazmat suits. People in hazmat suits in radioactive imagery.
Yeah, probably
all
33.
flashing
He probably
throughout
missed
this
a couple.
dream.
Yeah.
Okay, this is crazy because
Yeah, he
the
probably
Epstein
missed a couple,
survivor-
you know. I can't catch everything. Yeah, it's probably another one eye right there in that scene. I don't know.
people in hazmat suits in radioactive imagery all flashing throughout this dream. Okay, this is crazy because the Epstein survivor, Juliette Bryant, testified she woke up paralyzed in a laboratory at Zorro Ranch. And she mentioned people in hazmat suits. She
Fuck me, man. Really? I did not know that.
a ranch, and she mentioned people in hazmat suits. She even said that Michael Bay was present at the ranch in 2004.
The director of the movie. He's there. Oh,
He
interesting.
even said that Michael Bay was present at the ranch in 2004, 1 year before this film. Guys, I'm not saying it's true, but do you realize how crazy this is?
It's fucking crazy. Crazy, folks.
An Epstein victim accused Michael Bay of being present at the ranch in 2004, the same ranch that she claimed there was a secret lab. Alright, now focus. Then, a man wakes up.
Focus, people. Focus. Did you hear him? Say focus. Focus. Now focus up here. All right, here we go.
Alright, now focus. Then, a man wakes up. It was just a dream. But was it? Good morning, Lincoln 6 Echo. An AI monitored room. The man is confused. It would seem we're in some futuristic environment because the AI system in this facility immediately picks up that he's having erratic REM sleep cycles, meaning someone or something is monitoring his dreams. We find out that his name is Lincoln 6 Echo. Weird name, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not a name, it's an entry, an ID, a serial number. But we'll come back to the esoteric symbolism towards the end. The man who just woke up from this dream is clearly confused.
I need you guys to go to the Tranquility Center, please. That'd be great. Cruise on over to Tranquility Center. That sounds cool, man. Let's go to the Yeah, okay.
Towards the end. The man who just woke up from this dream is clearly confused and doesn't know what's going on. There's a notification to report to the Tranquility Center. Seems pretty chill. So he goes to the Tranquility Center, and this is kind of weird.
You got to do 8 hours in the train.
Notice how thought out everything is. So first, he has to go through a wake-up contamination screening process. Then he gets dressed, and of course, he has to put on his Puma shoes.
You got to have product placement, man. It's called product placement in Hollywood. You got to have some Puma shoes, Mongos. Come on. Yeah.
Then he gets dressed, and of course, he has to put on his Puma shoes. Well, he's missing a shoe, and he talks to a camera on the wall, and we find out that there's some control center. This implies that this man is a part of some type of large experiment. Someone is sitting in front of multiple monitors watching all of this. Every single thing these people do is monitored.
Do I have a set of Pumas? Yeah, I think I do. Damn it. They're old, though. They've been around a minute, man. It's not some brand new Pumas. Shit.
Watching all of this. Every single thing these people do is monitored. But the movie's very fast-paced, so it doesn't explain what's happening just yet. And keep in mind, when people were watching this in 2005, they most likely didn't really suspect anything weird.
2005, Mongos. All right, check that out, man. That's 21 years ago, man. Come on. That's 21 years ago? Damn. I didn't think it was that old. Damn. It is. It's that old. Damn. All right. It's pretty like where we're at now. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of where we're at now. There's almost this in a lot of places.
But now with fresh eyes, it's easy to see. So he leaves his cell, and he starts walking in the hallway with a bunch of other people wearing the same clothing. They get into an elevator, and this scene is where we find out some more of the lore. The elevator AI system says, "Good morning, July 19th, 2019. Now this film came out in 2005, but they set it to 2019. So were they saying that this technology, human cloning, organ harvesting, all of this was going to be possible by 2019? That's a very interesting date to pick, is all I'm saying. And ask yourself, if you're a skeptic of a reality like this, why haven't these experiments happened? Let's just say this. It's not the tech. It's laws. The tech already exists. So we know the year, but technically this is the future in 2005. Right after the elevator AI says the date, then this guy from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody says, "Another day in paradise." Take note of that word, paradise. So they're chilling in the elevator when an announcement on the screen comes on. It's an advertisement for the lottery. Basically a MK Ultra commercial.
All right, I gotta back it up. Hold on. Try. I had a little text I had to deal with, man. Sorry, I gotta back it up. All right, here we go.
That's a very interesting date to pick, is all I'm saying.
July 19th. What was it? What was that? What happened that day? Anybody know?
Cloning, organ harvesting, all of this was going to be possible by 2019. That's a very interesting date to pick, is all I'm saying. And ask yourself, if you're a skeptic of a reality like this, why haven't these experiments happened? Let's just say...
Is that Dolly? It was Dolly. Dolly? Dolly. That was a big deal. It was all over the news, 60 Minutes, everywhere, CBS, ABC, NBC. We could see, you can see. It was everywhere, man. And Dolly was a big fucking deal growing up, man. They cloned a sheep. Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit, this is fucking crazy. What are we doing? I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, this don't sound right, man. Why are we cloning shit, man? It sounds a little creepy to me, man. And I just remember being kind of tripped out about the whole Dolly thing. I was like, nah, it just don't seem right, man. And I'm sure it's not 100%. That's why we watch this shit, because we know it's not right, and we're just getting a bigger understanding of what the is going on. All right, let's go. Let's check it out from here. Oh my goodness, I'm blown away. Dolly, of all things to come into my head tonight, Dolly, the cloning sheep. It was, they were, keeping an eye on Dolly every day, man, every friggin' day.
That's all I'm saying. And ask yourself, if you're a skeptic of a reality like this, why haven't these experiments happened? Let's just say this. It's not the tech. It's laws. The tech already exists.
Hold on a second, man. I gotta respond to a text, damn it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize, man. Just, come on. That's funny, man. Hold on, man. That's, okay. Alright, we're rolling here. Sorry. It's important text, darn it. I get, this is an unprofessional situation. I'm a one-man show over here, All right, we're cloning babies, cloning sheep. Is that, yeah, you guys know where we're going here.
Why haven't these experiments happened? Let's just say this. It's not the tech. It's laws. The tech already exists. So we know the year, but technically this is the future in 2005. Right after the elevator AI says the date, then this guy from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody says, "Another day in paradise." Take note of that word, paradise.
Paradise, baby.
So
Paradise.
they're chilling in the elevator when an announcement on the screen comes on. It's an advertisement for the lottery. Basically a MK Ultra commercial. Why is it MK Ultra? MK Ultra is when the images flash fast so you can't process them, and it goes directly to your subconscious. You'll see this throughout the whole film. So this commercial comes up with this hype music, and it has these flashing images. clearly trance-inducing as they all stop what they're doing and stare. Boom. The island. Your prize. The island winner. Starkweather 2 Delta. And then we get an attractive woman who appears on the screen and says in a sensual voice, "Your time has come. You're moving out to the island." Then the winner, Starkweather 2 Delta, played by Michael Clark Duncan, is on the screen and he's the celebrity talking about how the biggest dream of his life just came true. And then he says, "I've only been with you guys for like 6 months, but I won." He's Mr. Popular. He can't believe it. He's going to the island. And notice the circular black and white background. This does create a hypnotic effect.
No, I didn't notice that, man. I was. Yeah.
And notice the circular black and white background. This does create a hypnotic effect on the viewer. This is a fake celebrity endorsement being used to sell the lottery to the rest of the people here. Does that remind you of anything?
No.
So Starkweather
No.
won, and he's freaking out because he gets to go to the island. That's what's happening in this scene. Okay, but let's take a few notes. This is a lottery system which is announced by, what I would argue, a sexually charged female announcer to a bunch of people who seem to be living in a controlled environment. And the biggest dream is to win this lottery. So you go to the island. Let's continue. The last thing that she says is the island is nature's last remaining pathogen-free zone. That's what they call the island.
It's the cocoa free zone, right? Yeah, it's the only one, man. You go to the cocoa zone, cocoa free zone,
Pathogen-free zone.
cocoa free zone.
That's what they call the island. The beginning part is extremely detailed, so bear with me. It is all important. So they're still in the elevator, and this guy's getting upset because he's been here way longer than 6 months. Why does he never win? The lottery is literally stressing them out. And we cut back to the control room. We got a disturbance on elevator 12. So any change in hormonal level is monitored. Someone behind the scenes is tracking all of them. Then there's this conversation between the clones, and we find out that some of them have been here for 2 years, 3 years, and then this one guy says he's been here for 7 years. So we know that this operation has been running for at least 7 years. Then we get a zoom out wide shot of the facility, and look at this is crazy. It literally looks like a generator. And it also looks exactly like the pod towers from the Matrix, where the humans are stored as batteries, which suggests the people in the experiment are being used as an energy source. So they get off the elevator, and the guy who was freaking out is now in trouble because he had a disturbance, meaning he got upset. So they ask him to swipe. So here's more lore. They all have these bracelets. The movie doesn't explain this, you have to pause and read it to understand it, but these cuffs are called ether cuffs, which supports the idea that they're batteries. Why else would you call it that? But these are ID bracelets, the mark of the beast.
What's up, Vinny? Hold on.
Also note that the
Shit.
guards are in black
Hold
suits.
on, man. I gotta pause. Damn. Vinny, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. You got Lev and Connie hanging out. What's up, man? We're just breaking down some Hollywood shit. Some Hollywood cuck. Hollywood cuck, I'll call it. Damn, it's horrible. Alright, the audio's better. Everybody's good. I'm trying, man. Just one man show here. Like Vinny. Not as cool as Vinny, but, you know, I try. I got my own thing. Right on, bro. Welcome to the show. Sit back, relax. Here we go.
To swipe. So here's more lore. They all have these bracelets. The movie doesn't explain this, you have to pause and read it to understand it, but these cuffs are called ether cuffs, which supports the idea that they're batteries. Why else would you call it that? But these are ID bracelets, the mark of the beast. Also note that the guards are in black suits, so they are the men in black, the men outside the Matrix with the knowledge of the true system. He scans the bracelet, pulls up the profile on the tablet. Gone dude 3 Echo. You've been flagged for public disturbance before. Now we start to see the inside. We're in a main lobby and a cafeteria area. Everyone in this experiment is wearing the same exact white clothes. They're basically all just hanging out in this Brave New World looking lab. It does actually look a lot like that 80s movie. But this scene is showing all the public facilities and amenities. They have yoga, entertainment, a bar. They're all just hanging out in paradise, right? Except everything's monitored. And again, extremely detailed. Not in the actual plot or the action scenes, but in the lore and specifics of this experiment. To me, it's clear that this is where the majority of the effort was. For example, so Lincoln goes to get some food and he scans his ether cuff at the cafeteria and immediately the AI flags him. Nutrition warning, and it tells him exactly what he can eat. Choices are fruit, oatmeal, or any type of bran. But weirdly, he really wants bacon, and the lunch lady says, "You got a nutrition flag. That means no."
You got a nutrition flag, man.
He tries to
want some bacon, damn it. You got a nutrition flag. That's funny, man. That's hilarious.
He really wants bacon.
Dude, I hadn't seen this movie in like 10 years, so it's might have been flat Earth.
Or any type of bran. But weirdly, he really wants bacon, and the lunch lady says, "You got a nutrition flag. That means no bacon." So the system decides what you eat. He tries to get eggs and sausage, but again the lunch lady rejects him. So he just gets goo.
You get the goo, bongos. You get the goo. You gotta get the goo.
Then this woman walks up to him and says, "Watch and learn. This is Jordan 2 Delta." And notice, she's a Delta. Lincoln is an Echo. So those are different classifications. And the second she gets to the counter, the lunch lady's whole attitude changes. So she goes up there and gets 4 or 5 pieces of bacon. A Delta can override the system, but Echoes can't. And she gives the bacon to Lincoln. I just think it's weird that they chose bacon. But keep in mind, this is subtle Sophia symbolism. We see a lot of this in Frankenstein. In a way, Jordan is Lincoln's guide and inspiration. Okay, but I went over that because this whole skit right here is just a eugenics Brave New World scene. There's a class system, Deltas get treated better than Echoes.
There you go, Connie.
Echoes, different privileges, different food, and the people in the experiment don't even question why. Well, immediately one of the guards separates them. There are proximity rules. They're not even allowed to get close to each other. And this is a strange scene. So they're all sitting down, and they're all simultaneously reading from a book. And it's literally Dick and Jane. "Who wants Sally?" said Dick. "I do, Jane. I cannot find Sally." "Get up, Dick, get up and help me find Sally." But these are adults reading children's books.
Yeah, these are adults watching The Simpsons and whatever other crazy, the freaking, I don't know, it's crazy. Yeah,
being maintained at a child's level, so clearly that's programming. Next,
get up, Dick, get up.
We meet Dr. Merrick. Lincoln gets called in to see Dr. Merrick, and we meet the main guy behind all of this. Look at his office. Notice the Picasso painting on the wall? And he does have this orb object on his desk, almost like a palantir.
Gotta have a globe. Gotta have a globe somewhere, right? You got a pyramid and a globe. There you go. Some crazy fucking artwork. Fucking crazy, man.
Look at his office. Notice the Picasso painting on the wall? And he does have this orb object on his desk, almost like a palantir. So Merrick sits Lincoln down, and the whole vibe's like a therapist session. "How's Lincoln 6 Echo today? My only job is to see that you're happy." But then he starts pulling up the files. The files show that you've been regularly interacting with Jordan 2 Delta. Proximity could become a concern. So he knows everything. He even knows that Lincoln's been having nightmares. So Merrick asks him to tell him about the dream, and Lincoln says, "I'm on a boat, heading to the island." And Merrick goes, "A boat?" He's obviously caught off guard. What kind of boat? Because why would Lincoln know what a boat is? He's never seen one. He's lived in this facility his whole life. The fact that he said boat means that something is leaking through. Merrick asks what happens in the dream, and Lincoln says, "I drown." And Merrick says, "Well, maybe you're afraid of winning." And Lincoln says, "Why would I be afraid of winning?" But Merrick just says, "You tell me." So Lincoln is starting to question everything. Who decided everyone likes tofu? Why can't I have bacon? Why is everyone wearing white? Who cleans my clothes? I just want to know answers. And I wish that there was more. And Merrick goes, "More?" And Lincoln says, "More than just wanting to go to the island." He's waking up now. He's asking questions that nobody else asks. Why do I eat this? Why do I wear this? Who runs this place? And then Merrick hits him with this. It's your nature to question things. But don't you realize how lucky you are? You survived the contamination. That nature has left you a Garden of Eden to repopulate. That, Lincoln, is your purpose. Garden of Eden, repopulation. Are you listening? This is the cover story, and it's biblical. God telling the creation its purpose. And then Lincoln asked him, "And you? Aren't you going to the island too?" And Merrick just says no. He's not going. He has to run this place. He's the god of this world.
Take
Merrick
that.
looks at Lincoln's drawings and sees that he's been sketching a boat. And at the bottom of the drawing it says, Renovatio. This is always in his dream. Renovatio. Take a note of that. So Merrick says he wants to run some tests. Nice test, he calls them. And then he brings Lincoln into this lab, and there's a machine that locks him down. He's gonna do a synaptic brain scan. And Merrick says, totally harmless. Don't worry, it's painless. The scan works through nanotechnology. It's these tiny spider-like robots that crawl through his eye. So bug symbolism. And Lincoln goes, "It hurts." And Merrick just says, "Not really." Lincoln's like, "Yeah, it does."
Not really.
But Merrick, like a hypnotist, says, "No, it doesn't." Then look at this shot. The microsensors will move along your optic nerve. They'll be uploading readings to us over the next 24 hours. So in 2005, they are showing you this technology in detail. Notice the one-eye symbolism in the same frame as the nanotech. That's not an accident. Oh, and by the way, I will point out the product placements because think about it. How dystopian is it to be watching a movie about this and getting advertisements at the same time? That's 2005 for you. So Lincoln goes to work and we see this interface. It says the current operator is Lincoln and the task is to inject glutamine 2%, 12 milligrams into nutrient line A2. This flashes on the screen for maybe like a second.
Like a
But look at the
yeah.
detail. This looks like real science, real IVF software. They designed an entire UI interface for this 1 second shot. And the job is basically this. Lincoln is sitting at a long table with these tubes laid across it, maybe 30 of them, half red, half blue, and his job is to inject specific amounts of nutrients into them. On the other side, there's another clone doing the same thing with the red tubes, which could be blood, but these are different nutrient lines basically. And they're all wearing these blue coats with a logo on them. So Lincoln asked the guy next to him, "Do you ever get bored doing this?" And the guy goes, "I never really thought about it." Lincoln says, "Where do the tubes go?"
Never thought about it, bro.
And the guy just points. They start there and they go right there. He has no idea, and none of them do. Which is a perfect analogy for the mainstream. Someone questions the system, and the answer is, well duh, it's obvious. But nobody actually knows where the tubes go. Then they notice this new guy, 7 Foxtrot, and he's in this stupor. They're trying to teach him how to do this job. And one of the clones says, "Man, did we all look that stupid when we went through decontamination?" So it's telling you that every clone goes through this phase. They basically come in blank and slowly get programmed into their role. So now this guy next to Lincoln, and this is interesting.
Oh.
He goes, "Hey, Mr. Man with all the questions, let me ask you this." And he leans in. "The lottery's supposed to be random, right? What if it's not? What if it's rigged?" So this is basically our conspiracy guy, but it's our clueless conspiracy guy. The one that makes alternative researchers look like crackpots. He pulls out this crazy note, and he says that he's been charting the last 20 people who won a spot on the island, excluding of course the women who were picked to be breeders. Okay, whoa. So the film is telling you that some of the female clones are selected for reproduction. And so what he did is he took the first letter of each name and assigned it a point value based on its position in the alphabet. Like the last guy, Starkweather. S equals 15, and then Q equals 15. S equals 19. Do you see what I'm saying? And Lincoln's like, "No." But essentially this guy is doing gematria.
Yeah.
Assigning numerical values.
Shit. What's up, New? What's up, Dave? Good to see you, brother. Just going through it, man. Going through it right now. And so are you. Let's go together. Let's go. Hollywood's ruined forever, man. For me, anyway. It's been ruined for a while, actually. What the hell's the point, man? This is all Hollywood shit, man. Yeah. Hollywood is the, the tell-all be-all of everything, man.
Starkweather. S equals 15, and then Q equals 15. S equals 19. Do you see what I'm saying? And Lincoln's like, "No." But essentially this guy is doing gematria, assigning numerical values to letters and trying to decode a hidden pattern in a 2005 Michael Bay movie. Okay, but this scene's doing
we're kind of going through there's a lot we're going through. We're just going through Hollywood. This right now we're just on one particular movie. Yeah. No, I did not get a. Oh yeah, well, Lev. You're talking to Lev. Okay. Yeah, we're just kind of reviewing the movie The Island, man. The Island.
gematria, assigning numerical values to letters and trying to decode a hidden pattern in a 2005 Michael Bay movie. Okay, but this scene's doing multiple things at once. It's showing you how conspiracy theorists work. He has the right instinct. He feels something is wrong. But he looks crazy. His math doesn't add up. He's
crazy flat earthers.
Because he's trying to crack the system to win.
Fucking crazy flat
not to
earthers.
escape. He almost accidentally cracked the code, but he still believes in the lottery. That's a metaphor. So, then out of nowhere, a woman collapses holding her stomach and everyone rushes over. She's an alpha, and she's pregnant. And the moment they realize this, an announcement comes on. "Lima, you're going to the island." And then look at Jordan's face. They are genuinely happy for this woman. She hugs her, all the people are applauding. It's a celebration. And then it cuts to Jones in the background going, "That's fair. That's real fair." Because basically, a pregnant woman just skipped the line that he was trying to hack. And they all watch her leave like she's won the golden ticket, but nobody knows what's about to happen. Then right after this, people in white hazmat suits come in to clean up the scene, and it's kind of like Monsters Inc., the same energy when they come in and clean up after a human sighting. Kind of weird. Now we're moving on to the next scene, and Lincoln's at a terminal and he calls tech services. "I'm down. Computer guy's in Sector 6. Then he gets a contamination kit and says he has to go deal with it. But clearly this is an excuse. And he takes a tri-key. Then he leaves. This is where we meet Mac, Steve Buscemi. He lives in the back end of the facility, like the maintenance tunnels. This is Sector 6. Lincoln comes to see him because his chip fried again. And Mac's just like, yeah, you're chip fried. How much longer do you think that one's gonna work? So he knows this is an excuse. Obviously this is their gig. Realistically, it doesn't make sense. But the signal is, this is a secret meeting. The strange hermit who teaches the beginner the basics of knowledge. So Mac's a supervisor. But he's not like the others. Obviously he's living in basically a cave. And on the walls, there's photos of models, magazine cutouts of women. And Lincoln notices this and says, "Are these your friends?" And Mac goes, "Yeah, sometimes." Lincoln's like, "Where's their clothes?" But Mac never answers it. So again, you're gonna see these subtle undertones. Sure, on the surface, he could just be a lonely guy with magazines. But think about who this character is. There are no signs that he's a creep in the film. He's actually the most human character, I guess. But he has a catalog of real women on his wall in a facility that makes artificial people. Note that. Then Lincoln asks, "What's with Dr. Merrick?" Mac tells him that he has a god complex. All doctors are like that. They think they know everything. And Lincoln says, "What's God?" So the religious symbolism is there. He doesn't know what God is. He's never been taught the concept. And Mac, this mechanic living in the pipes, he goes, "Well, you know when you want something really bad and you close your eyes and you wish for it? God's the guy that ignores you." So this is an insight. That's his theology. That's how the film defines God for the clones. Through a pessimist in a boiler room. Then Mac tells Lincoln, "You have a really sweet deal here. Because you're special." And Lincoln goes, "Why? Why am I special?" But Mac won't tell him. It gets serious though. He says, "You don't tell anyone about our conversations, do you? Because that can get me in big trouble." So think about what this scene is really showing you. A supervisor in a classified facility, secretly meeting with a clone, sharing forbidden knowledge, risking his position in the back rooms where nobody can see them. This is a secret society dynamic. It's an Enlightenment reference. The initiated sharing truth with the uninitiated in a hidden chamber. And then as Lincoln is leaving, he sees a butterfly or a moth. It looks more like a moth, but it still holds the same mind control significance because it is multi-layered. He follows this bug through the corridors through a door marked "Warning, Level 3 authorized personnel only," and this is when he catches it. What's happening is, if there's contamination that wiped out the outside world, if nothing can survive out there, then how's a bug inside the facility? The contamination must be a lie. The bug is a bug in the system. In this case, it's the opposite of the symbol in the Matrix, where the bug is a parasite. In this instance, the bug is a random chance anomaly in the system. But again, it's another Enlightenment symbol. He is waking up to the truth. And then as he's walking through the main facility, there's this Department 6, Department of Recreation. I haven't been pointing them all out, but hopefully you've noticed all these 6 and 9s and the inversion of the two. They are all throughout the film. Okay, so now we follow Mac. He walks into a room, and it looks like this is his job. The first thing you see are these two monitors. One on the left has the machine's operating software showing all the log data, and the one on the right is a full database of every clone in the system. And right now it's selecting one by ID, and the machine is grabbing that specific pod for the inspection. I'm just saying, that had to be designed by a developer. And again, I get that sci-fi movies show this type of stuff all the time, but this is actually quite detailed for a random sci-fi movie that isn't even a series. Two guards are helping him out, and one of them says, "Man, you think with all the money this place is raking in, they could afford decent equipment." So this is a funded operation. It's raking in money. Here's the first close-up of a clone in the pod, and if you see the logo, M for Merrick. So we know this is a corporation. It's called Merrick. Merrick. America. Then they go to work on one of the pods and someone says, "Ready?" And then they just cut it open like a C-section. What comes out is a full-grown adult human being. covered in fluid, gasping for air, and they're like, breathe, breathe. It's actually pretty brutal. I mean, think about this compared to being born in the loving arms of your mother. The clone is like a newborn baby, except it's a fully developed adult. Then the doctor comes in and says, looks like we have a fine product. So they're like livestock. And this shot's insane. The camera pulls back and you see the full scale of the operation. Dozens, maybe thousands of these pods throughout the entire facility.
Like the Matrix.
What's interesting is that they're different stages of development. Some of them are blood vessels, skeletal, or fully formed adults floating in fluid. This is industrial manufacturing of human beings. And they designed this set. Someone had to build this. But if you follow the camera, this is an interesting technique. Something only the back-end director would think. The camera follows over the pods and then it goes through the nutrient tubes. The same tubes Lincoln was injecting nutrients into all day at his job in the Department of Labor. But like I said, watch this shot. The camera tracks the tubes from the pod room, through the walls, through the infrastructure, all the way back to the front end, to the workstation, to Jones sitting right there feeding the tubes. So he's been feeding the clones. That's their job, to create more clones. And they have no idea. That doesn't seem like a Michael Bay shot to me. That's a visual metaphor where the camera physically traces a supply chain from the product back to the unknowing worker coming back full circle. So now Lincoln's back in his room, and the moth is in a glass jar on his nightstand, and look at the shot. One eye symbolism. Okay, now you might think that's a reach, but it's a deliberate composition. The cinematographer framed the bug and the eye together in that same shot, and he says, little bug. Now think about that. In The Matrix, Neo had a literal bug implanted in it, a parasite, a tracker, the system controlling it. But here, it's reversed. The bug's not a parasite, it's the revealer, a glitch in the system, an accidental life form that got inside the facility, and it's going to lead to the clones waking up. It's a bug in the software. And the way Lincoln is looking at it, the jar's like right in front of his head, like it's inside of his mind, almost a homunculus reference, the genius awakening within him. Then we cut to what the clones do for fun, and this is pretty wild. They play virtual reality games, and it's connected to Xbox. So Lincoln and Jordan are fighting each other in this full body motion tracked virtual reality system, and it's branded Xbox.
That's not suspicious. That's not weird. That's a product placement, bro. That's all it is, man. It's just product placement. They do it in Hollywood all the time. Coke, Pepsi, Budweiser. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting.
So Lincoln and Jordan are fighting each other in this full body motion tracked virtual reality system.
2005. Do I have to keep it right? 2005? 2005, Mongos. Think about that. That's 21 years ago. All right? This movie's way ahead of its time. Telling us all kinds of truth, man. Interesting take on it, huh? All right. Carry on.
Jordan are fighting each other in this full body motion tracked virtual reality system, and it's branded Xbox. And who owns Xbox? But notice that their virtual selves experience pain. He spits out a tooth and bleeds a little bit. So even the game system is conditioning them to associate virtual experiences with real physical sensation. Then, the clones apparently have nightlife. They actually have a club. So the facility has a lounge, it's got the colored lights and music, basically the illusion of nightlife so they don't go crazy. It honestly reminds me of Brave New World because it's almost like they're giving them soma. Give them entertainment, keep them pacified. And then we even get an Aquafina ad. It's really random when you're watching the movie too. They come out of nowhere. The camera will just randomly zoom into the Aquafina water bottle. Then they have another eugenics detail here. Lincoln has to drink this dark, sloppy vegetable juice, while Jordan's ordering this beautiful petal juice. It's good for her skin. Remember, she's a Delta, so she has higher privileges. We get another one eye here too. Then Lincoln tells Jordan about the bug. So this is where it falls apart, because Jordan says, but I thought they went extinct with the contamination. And then Lincoln mentions, well, how did they get past the pathogen sensors? And he goes, how does anyone survive? They keep finding people and bringing them here, but where do they come from? Notice how the bug is connected to questioning and becoming more awake. And Jordan pushes back. It's good that they find survivors. Why do you question the good? You only think about the bad.
What the fuck? Oh, Mongo. Yeah, they did it.
Why do you question the good? You only think about the bad. So she's...
How dare you? How dare you think about the bad? You're a flat earther. You're thinking about bad stuff, man. You need to stop it. Stop thinking about the flat earth. You're bad. You're a bad person. What? Why are you always thinking about the bad? I mean, we went to the moon and like stuff, you know. We went all over the place, you know. We're flying airplanes everywhere. We got satellites and stuff. Yeah, how dare you think about the bad? Oh, okay. How dare you?
And Jordan pushes back. It's
How
good that
dare
they
you question things? How dare you? She's like,
find survivors. Why do you question the good? You only think about the bad. So she's just completely nescient. She believes the system. She's hopeful and positive in a situation where she has no idea what her fate actually is. Lincoln just says, I have a feeling that something is wrong. Again, we see the
smart guy. He's got a feeling something's wrong, man. Gotta see smart guy. Smart guy.
just says, I have a feeling that something is wrong.
Again, more than a feeling. More than a feeling, bro. I got some evidence over here. All kinds of crazy stuff, man. Which rabbit hole you want to go down? I got a whole pile of them.
Control room. Monitors everywhere. The lottery's back on. It's operating literally like a television production. That's what it is a show. And they have a whole team running it. Good evening. Live from EtherCon. EtherCon? So notice how this lottery winning system has a headquarters, whether fictional or real, called EtherCon.
EtherCon. Really? EtherCon.
Has a headquarters, whether fictional or real, called EtherCon. She says, Welcome to the lottery spin. It's been a busy week. We had a record 2 winners so far. Tonight's winner will be selected at random for relocation to the island, transported to the world's last paradise. And as she says, transported to the world's last paradise, pay attention, look at the shot that's on the screen. Merrick is watching from above, drinking something, and the drink is red, 100% red, and his face is framed in one-eye symbolism. How else do you explain that? This is during the lottery, during the announcement of who gets transported. The man who runs the slaughterhouse, watching the selection, drinking red, with one eye. That one shot.
That's we're gonna call it the cuck shot. From now on, it's the cuck shot. There you go. You know what I mean by shot, filmed, video, zoom in, whatever. It's the shot. If you've ever run a video camera, you might know what a shot is. But yeah, it's called the cuck shot. This one's the cuck shot. All right, in my opinion. That's for Jibby. Thank you, Jibby, brother. Love you, man.
Shot alone ties the organ harvesting to sacrificial blood ritual imagery. If you know, you know. The names spin, and it lands on Jordan 2 Delta. Step up, your time has come. You're moving out to the island. And look at this shot. There's hundreds of clones in white, all clapping and celebrating like a congregation, like a church. Jordan can't believe it. She goes to Lincoln and says, "I have to go in the morning." And Lincoln says, "You were right. Good things do happen." But Lincoln knows that something's not right. And behind him on the ether screens, we see the words, "Your time." Everyone's celebrating, but he's the only one in the room who feels that something's wrong, but he doesn't know why. They're then separated, and she walks away and says, "I'll see you on the island." Lincoln goes to sleep and the dream starts again. But this time it's different. It's more intense. Okay, so I really need you to pay attention because what happens next is one of the most important things in the entire film. It doesn't seem like anybody's caught it. The dream starts with flashing images, MK Ultra style programming, the island, the doctors, and then buried inside the sequence, frame by frame, single frame inserts that you can't see at normal playback speed. You have to go frame by frame. That means it's subliminal. Okay, here's what's in the sequence. It says obedient, flashes for one frame, then a rising sun, a baby being born, love, the island, stop, an image of contaminated America. So Merrick is America. A beach, the island paradise, lucky. And look at this. Notice the typography. This is that magazine print style. Does that remind you of anything? Remember the incubator victim? If you watched part 1 and part 2, you should know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get more one-eyed symbolism. And then an abduction scene. Doctors in masks pulling Lincoln from his bed. This is a memory of him being born as a clone, being replayed as a nightmare. You have been chosen. Then something interesting. In the dream, Lincoln appears to be in a car with the number 14. Seems like he's some type of celebrity or a driver. A flash of his sponsor's life bleeding through. And then a man in the mirror with black glasses, like a man in black, says, "The island awaits you." Jordan reaches out her hand. "The island awaits you." Lincoln wakes up. Now look at the composition. His head is behind the jar with the bug in it. So it is kind of a homunculus reference. The genius is in his head now. The awakening is happening. That's what the dream sequence is. So, those subliminal frames, obedient, love, lucky, you wouldn't be able to see them if you were watching this at normal speed. The clones are programmed by screens in the MK Ultra room, and you, the viewer, just got programmed by the subliminal frames in the movie. So Lincoln still has the tri-key from earlier, and he's sneaking back out to the facility on his own. Now if you think about it, this is kind of a plot hole. How is a clone walking around the facility freely at night? Don't they have cameras? Unless Merrick is allowing it. Unless the system is testing him, letting the bug do its work, seeing how far his curiosity goes before they intervene.
There you go. There you go, Mongo.
So he comes
right there. Did you catch that? Yeah. New Perspective will back me up on this shit, too, but they let it out on purpose, man. They let this shit out because then they can control it, man. 100%, without a doubt, man. I mean, it's that easy, bro. They have to let it out a little bit in order to, make it work, I guess, man. They're real esoteric Mongos. But yeah, they gotta give it to you a little bit, man. A lot. Actually, they give you a whole lot. New Perspective. Come on. I mean, how many times have we talked about this shit, man? How many times? Hundreds of times.
Facility freely at night. Don't they have cameras? Unless Merrick is allowing it. Unless the system is testing him, letting the bug do its work, seeing how far his curiosity goes before they intervene. So he comes up to the sign, Level 3 authorized personnel only, contamination risk. So this is the edge of their world. The story that keeps everything away. If you go past here, you die. The entire foundation of this facility runs on this lie. The outside world is contaminated. No clone could go past this point. Why would you? But Lincoln has the bug. He put the bug in a matchbox, notice the background, and when the moth flies up, this shows that the air isn't toxic, so the contamination is a lie. Okay, but notice the device here. The bug revealed the truth. And this is something that most people would miss, because right after this, there's a ladder going up. Obviously rested, because why would anyone go up there? But Lincoln climbs it. Okay, but this is an esoteric layer. This is Jacob's ladder. This is important. In the Bible, Jacob dreams of a ladder connecting earth to heaven, and angels ascend and descend on it. So, Lincoln is ascending, climbing out of the underground false reality toward the truth above. Now that's kind of obvious, but what's not well known is this is a Masonic reference. This is degrees of initiation. You climb the ladder of knowledge. So whoever wrote this script knew exactly what they were doing. He gets to the top and opens a hatch in the ceiling. One eye. This is him entering a higher realm from below. And look at it. The bright white hallways. It's heaven. It does look like that one scene from The Matrix. And that's not an accident. Because Lincoln's literally
Yeah, it also it's interesting perspective from the natural perspective. The hallway, as it shrinks, as it gets away from your eye. Isn't that how they said the boats go over the curve because they're like far away? Oh, perspective. Ain't that a Mongo bitch? For those Mongos. Yeah, it's a Mongo bitch. Too bad. They're such Mongos. They can't even admit that.
look like that one scene from the White Hall, a higher realm from below.
The frickin'
And look at it.
The perspective. Things appear to get smaller in the distance, bro. That's it. Oh, I love that one. Anyway, that's one of my favorites. New perspective. I would agree, because he's hip. He knows what's up, man.
The bright white hallways. It's heaven. It does look like that one scene from The Matrix. And that's not an accident, because Lincoln's literally unplugging from the simulation right now. He's seeing the real world for the first time. So he finds some blue scrubs, puts them on as a disguise, and now he's blending in with the staff. Alright, so get ready because this part's very dark. So he comes across a room, and through the window he sees a woman giving birth. It's Lima 2 Alpha, the woman who fell earlier. So this is the woman who was pregnant. She was really pregnant and she just had her baby. She's crying, she's happy. She's so beautiful, I've never seen a baby. Can I hold her? The doctor says, not just yet. Now, look at this shot. Lincoln's in the foreground, smiling, happy. But in the reflection, we can see the doctor's holding a green syringe. The audience sees it, but Lincoln doesn't. You know what's coming, and it's pretty disturbing. The nurse, this evil lady holding her baby, and the mother who just gave her birth, putting all her trust in the nurse, says, "Are we going to the island?" She thinks she's won. She had her baby, now she gets to go to paradise. But this other woman, the nurse or attendant, she nods, "Yes, sweetie." But she knows. She's done this thousands of times. She knows exactly what's about to happen, and she just nods and smiles like it's nothing. Then this...
Yeah. Yep. Who realizes that they're telling us becomes amazed. It's feeling powerless. Yeah, man. I think that's why a lot of globetards hang on to the globe. Dude, I'm powerless against this flat Earth thing, man. What the hell, man? I got no proof for this fucking globe. Airplanes. I got no curve. This This is disturbing to me. I'm disturbed. I have no proof for this globe thing. I grew up with. I grew up with this globe, and how could I let it go? There's just no way I could ever. I can't. There's just. I mean, yeah, it becomes overwhelming. Exactly, man. Yeah. I become powerless against it, man. And that, dude, their system is so tight, man, and it's hard to. Yeah. It's hard to break out of it, man. It's really hard to break out of that system, man. That's a Mongo shit, man. All right, I gotta pee, man. Enjoy. I'm gonna hit play here. Hold on.
What's about to happen, and she just nods and smiles like it's nothing. Then this woman, the same woman who just said yes, sweetie, while holding her baby, straps her down. Then the doctor injects Lima with the green fluid, one-eye symbolism in this shot too, and Lima starts to realize something's wrong. She gets scared. She realizes she's dying, and the attendant, the woman who comforted her 10 seconds ago, holds her down and watches her die with this cold, satanic stare. She's seen this over and over. Soulless. Lincoln just watched all of this. And now remember, the white veil. That dream sequence earlier, Jordan appeared in a white veil, like a bride, like an angel. During the dream, Jordan appeared in a white light veil on the island. The island. And now a white sheet covers her body. The veil is death. It was always death. The white veil in the dreams. The white light at the lottery. The island itself. It's the passage from life to death. Then, the baby's taken, and we cut to the outside world. It's this clean room, and this family's receiving their baby. Congratulations, it's a beautiful girl. And this woman's extremely happy. And then the nurse says, whenever you're ready, we have copies of your policy termination for your records. Policy termination? They signed papers for this. This family knows what they bought. The baby is a product, and Lima was the packaging. But did you notice something? I'm not going to point it out right now. I'll save it for later. And immediately after this scene, right after you watched a woman get murdered and her baby stolen, the film cuts to this character, and it's basically Helen from Drake and Josh. Okay, so that's 2 times there are actors from kid shows here. I just don't like the switch up. It's almost insulting. It was just extremely tense. And now this loud, bubbly woman going, Starkweather? That big, cute football player on the Reebok commercials? Oh, I love him. Is he in there? It's comedic relief. Right after the murder scene. And that's not an accident. That's the film manipulating your emotions the same way the facility manipulates the clones. Give them something horrible, and then distract them with something loud. The film is doing to you what it does to them. Again. Okay, but this scene just keeps getting crazier. So Helen mentions Starkweather, the big celebrity football player, and we cut to the operating room. It's Starkweather 2 Delta. So he's a clone of some famous football player from the Reebok commercials, and they have him on the table for organ harvesting. Take note that the surgery tech in this scene looks way beyond 2005. They have advanced holographic monitors, laser cutters, pretty much the whole thing. So they're doing surgery when Starkweather's heart rate starts rising. Then he starts fighting the ventilator. The doctor says, I don't want to have to euthanize this guy to get his liver. Then Starkweather wakes up. And this is the big guy. He sees what they're doing to him. They're cutting him open, and he starts destroying everything, ripping tubes out, knocking equipment over. He runs out of the surgery room with this open wound, and they actually shoot hooks into his legs like they're catching livestock. Now this scene's really bad. They pull him back to the surgery room, and the guard's just saying, easy, easy, don't damage him. And during all of this, he's screaming at the top of his lungs, I want to go to the island. You promised. I want to live. I don't want to die. He still believes in this dream. Even while they're dragging him back to have his organs removed, he's begging for the island.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Globetards a little bit. Yeah, the staunch anti-flat earther mongos. I don't know. Those guys are probably just paid cocks, but just the average person, man, they do fight for their globe, man. I want to go to the globe. I want to go to the globe, man. I gotta go to the globe. I gotta go to the globe.
Don't want to die.
I want to go to the globe, man. How dare
Now
you?
this scene's really bad.
How dare you give me a
They
permanent
pull
hit
him
of
back to the
acid?
surgery room.
How dare you give me a permanent hit of acid? Oh, it's fucked up, man. How dare you? It's crazy, Dave. It's crazy, bro. It's hilarious.
Now this scene's really bad. They pull him back to the surgery room, and the guard's just saying, "Easy, easy, don't damage him." And during all of this, he's screaming at the top of his lungs, "I want to go to the island. You promised. I want to live. I don't want to die." He still believes in this dream. Even while they're dragging him back to have his organs removed, he's begging for the island.
I love the correlation to those people coming into the flat earth, man. You're like, oh my God. No, man. You guys are... No, I'm going to get dragged back.
The programming is so deep that even in the moment of his own murder, he's asking for the reward he was promised. That's how complete the control is.
Yeah, sweet, ain't it? Oh, amazing, bro. Yeah. It's like the island, exactly. They're in the fake reality, man. Yeah, they got this whole fucking spinny globe and thing going, and they just can't let it go. And they just cannot let that shit go. Wait a minute, man. I experienced none of this bullshit. And the planes don't fucking fly, on a globe, and water's level. I mean, it's simple. I mean, keep it simple. But yeah, they'll just fight it right to the end, man. It's crazy, man. It's the same kind of interesting concepts, man. Thanks for hanging out. I love it. This is good.
He's asking for the reward he was promised. That's how complete the control is. But what you don't see is that this is extremely traumatizing. Not only for Lincoln, but for you, the viewer. That's intentional. So Lincoln's hiding, but a guard in black walks up to him and says, "You okay, buddy? It's not the first time this happened, you know. This happens on the regular. Clones wake up on the table, and they don't even care." He says, "Ethercon, product is secure." Lincoln knows the truth now. He knows everything. The island is death. The lottery is sacrifice. The facility is a farm. He just watched a woman get murdered for her baby, and a man get dragged back to surgery screaming for a place that doesn't exist. So, that is a Jacob's Ladder reference. He ascended out of the underground into the truth. He witnessed the reality behind the veil. And now he has to go back down, so he descends the ladder, back down into the material world, back into the Matrix, carrying this new knowledge. That's a Masonic initiation.
Ain't that some bitch, huh? Yeah, Mongos. Fuck. So crazy, Sue. It's crazy.
Carrying this new knowledge. That's a Masonic initiation. You ascend, you see the truth, you descend back into the world of the profane, but now you carry the light. The Freemasons literally encoded a degree initiation into a Michael Bay movie. They're not even hiding it. They showed you in 2005, and from their perspective, they're not wrong, because they told you. They told all of us. Do you still think the square and compass on the cover is just an accident? So while this is all happening, we cut to the security room. The guards are watching the footage of Starkweather's escape, and they think it's funny. They all know what this place is, and they think it's hilarious. Then Merrick walks in. "Gentlemen, I understand there's been an incident." This is where Merrick realizes that the clone in disguise was Lincoln. We have a product on the loose. So Lincoln's freaking out. He rushes to the female quarters to get Jordan before they find him. So now we're in Jordan's room, and look what's behind her. Now it looks like a window. So wait, the facility's right by the island? They stare at it and constantly dream about going there. So they essentially are constantly reminded of this false illusion. Lincoln finds Jordan and tries to tell her the truth.
It's kind of like getting people to believe like we're gonna go to the moon or we're going to Mars or we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get off this Earth thing, man. We're gonna go somewhere else, bro. Kind of a lot of that is involved in this movie for sure, bro. But you know they got the island, man. Yeah, we're gonna get out of this place and we're gonna go to the fucking space, Mongos. Come on.
Reminded of this false illusion. Lincoln finds Jordan and tries to tell her the truth. That Lima and Starkweather are dead. The lottery is a lie, and they're gonna kill her next. Now Jordan doesn't want to hear this, so she shuts him down. She still believes that she's going to the island. But then Lincoln says it. There is no island. So what the scene is that one person sees the truth and is trying to show someone who has it. So they reject it.
Does that sound familiar to you guys? They just reject it. Like, hey man, we checked it out. It's cool. This is interesting.
There is no island. So what the scene is that one person sees the truth and is trying to show someone who has it. So they reject it. He just learned something that the masses will not accept.
Welcome to Flat Earth manga. Yeah, movie is called The Island. The Island. This has everything to do with it's everything to do with the character that we got all the files on recently. Yeah. It's 2005, which is like, oh my. 2005. Oh yeah. 21 years ago, yeah. Dang. Interesting. And it turns out the guy that had the island, it's in the files, the same guy. Yeah, Jeffrey. He financed part of this movie. Yeah, interesting. I find that super interesting. But yeah, man, check it out. We're having a good time. Laughing about what's up.
They can't fathom the reality that they're in. Then one of the guards says, 6 Echo and female tower, floor 32. Floor 32? No, it's not 33. That would be too obvious. But one below 33? Another subtle Masonic reference. But note that now that someone knows the truth, the facility goes into full lockdown. A contamination alert has been issued for Lincoln 6 Echo. Anyone coming in contact with him will be quarantined. So they weaponize the contamination lie. They're telling you right now how psyops work. You take someone who knows too much, and you tell everyone else that they're dangerous, diseased, contaminated.
You flat earthers are dangerous. You guys are a danger to society. You damn flat earthers. Damn it.
And now nobody will listen to them. Now Lincoln and Jordan make a run for it. The men in black are chasing them through the facility. They go through door 6 into the Sector 6 basement. Then we get a Michael Bay chase scene. So they escape through a pipe and then they fall into this room. Now this isn't just any room. This is Sector 5, the MK Ultra room, the mind transfer room.
It's the MK Ultra room. Yeah.
Sector 5.
That's hilarious.
The MK Ultra room, the mind transfer room. This is part 3 of our series. This is the stage where the clones are born in the pod room. They're brought here and then their minds are programmed. The memories are implanted and the personalities are constructed. But just look at the scale.
I heard an interesting conversation today about the brain in a jar argument. Yeah, there were some young cucks and some older guys going back and forth, man. It got pretty heated. It got very heated, man. Yeah, you gotta watch the movie. But I love the way he's breaking it down. It's good that you're watching this first and then watch the movie. I need to rewatch the movie because I saw it like 10 years ago, maybe 12. Dude, I might not have even been a flat earther then. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know. I knew some stuff, but I didn't know that. Flat Earth, man, that was a big red pill. I had to swallow that shit quick. I was like, oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, this whole cloning thing. But this ties back to the. This is deep, man. We're going deep here, man. We're only an hour in. This is a 3-hour thing here. So, buckle up. Drink some water. And we'll go a little bit longer, and then we'll have to pick it up part 2, man. This is, it's something you can't just get through real quick, I don't think. But, you guys are pros. I'm not worried. You guys can rock through this. Let's go.
The memories are implanted and the personalities are constructed. But just look at the scale of it. Notice how they're being programmed. Screens above every single pod, projecting directly into their eyes, 24 hours a day, and the messages play on repeat. You've been chosen. You have a very special purpose. You're a part of a new beginning. You're special. You want to go to the island. Now even Jordan's starting to wake up. She's starting to remember these exact same phrases. The consciousness research is in the Epstein files. It's the same pipeline.
It's the same.
Map the brain, build the model, install the program, control the output. But this film is showing you this in 2005. So the Men in Black catch up, they find them in the MK Ultra room, and they continue with more chasing. They then end up at the edge of the facility, they find a wall, and on the other side of it, they see the sky, the ocean, and the island. And for a second, it looks like the facility is right by the island. But it's a projection. The entire sky is a hologram. So this is an underground lab with a fake holographic sky. So they escape, they go past the power grid, into the underground tunnels, and they eventually climb out of Silo 3. So they've made it to the real world, born again, in America. Now the film cuts back to the facility, and we hear the lottery woman making these announcements. Lincoln 6 Echo remains in quarantine after contamination exposure. And then Jordan
right?
Delta was safely...
This is serious. This is crazy, right? Sue, it's absolutely like, wow, man. Okay, red pill. A little bit. Call it a purple pill. We'll go with
in
that.
quarantine after contamination exposure. And then Jordan 2 Delta was safely transported to her new home on the island. Okay, but both of those are lies. And then we see Jones 3 Echo, Lincoln's friend from earlier, the conspiracy guy, and he's worried because his best friend has been contaminated. But he's also asking questions too. He says to the doctor, "Where do all the tubes go?" And the doctor shuts him down. But the point is that the seeds are spreading. Lincoln questioned first, and now all the people around him are starting to question too. Okay, so this is probably the most...
That's kind of how it worked with Flat Earth a little bit, man. Like all these seeds start getting spread around. Like, oh wow, okay, let's look at this, man. Let's look at that. Let's look at gravity. Let's look at some quantum physics, and we got busy, man. We got busy. All these people had to answer a bunch of shit, and you saw their reactions. And, I don't know. Next question. How's gravity work? I don't know. Next question. Let's go. Yeah.
Important sequence in the film.
Fucking Mongos.
Okay, so this is
Mongos.
probably the most important sequence in the film. So listen closely. The next scene is the investor pitch scene. We learn a lot here. Merrick has a partner, and it's obvious they're trying to sell this whole operation to investors. This is insane. So Merrick starts his pitch, and this is where the film finally explains what this company actually does. It's almost like a promotional video playing for the investors. Almost like an...
Did he say, Yeah, I bet your ass he said,
Film finally explains what this company actually does. It's almost like a promotional video playing for the investors. Almost like an orientation video.
Fucking A.
The human organism, unique in all the universe in its complexity, the product of 3 billion years of evolution. Perfect in every way, except one. Like all machines, it wears out. So that's how they see us, organic machines with expiration dates. Then he says, for centuries, the idea of replenishing the human body has been at the forefront of modern science. Now, I already showed you an example of this. While the dialogue is going on, a specific shot is shown on the screen. Not only is this intentional, but it's a cinematic device. As soon as he says for centuries the idea of replenishing the human body, look at what appears on the screen. A little girl holding a dark bunny. Now she appears multiple times during this scene. But what does this girl have to do with anything? This seems very dark and it looks coded. Let me show you. Look at the flower. That's a hidden pentagram facing down. Then look at the strings. That's XXX. Now you could say this is just a coincidence. Or I could say it's giving me Balenciaga vibes. In 2005.
Yeah, either way.
About cloning. Connected to the Epstein files. Yeah. Now this happens fast. You would never notice this if you were watching the movie normally. Merrick takes the stage and says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next generation of science, the agnate. Do you get it? It's a subtle hint from the esoteric director that this is replacing the old method for immortality. This is called an agnate, not a clone, not a replica, and this is by design. This is their corporate branding for their product. It's an organic frame engineered directly into adulthood to match the client's age. Now think about what he's saying. In the real world, the problem with cloning is you have to wait 20 years for the clone to grow up. So it's not really commercially viable. But in the film, they solved it by creating an organic frame. Basically, the body can be grown at any age instantly. Remember the pod room? They had different stages of growth.
Dang.
Stage 1 is the blood vessels and brain. Then they build a body around it. And by the time it's harvest ready, it's an exact physical replica of the client at the client's current age. Within 12 months, it will be harvest ready, providing a carrier for your baby, a second pair of lungs, fresh skin. A carrier for your baby? Wait, hold up. First off, that has horrible implications. But remember Lima?
It's horrible implications. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's horrible. Damn, how about that, Mongos? Check. Fuck.
A carrier for your baby?
Yeah.
Wait, hold up.
It's worse than we thought, Sue. I'll just say that, man. It's worse than we thought. We were talking about Dolly, the sheep got cloned back in the 70s. Yeah, this is the kind of cuck shit that they probably got going on. Who knows? This is a movie from 2005, 21 years ago. Damn.
First off, that has horrible implications.
Yeah, it's horrible implications. It's horrible. It's horrible.
A carrier for your baby?
It's horrible implications. You got that right.
First off, that has horrible implications.
Fucking A, it's
But
right.
remember Lima? Remember the woman who just got murdered after giving birth? That's what this means. The real person, or whoever paid for this, didn't want to go through pregnancy. So she had her clone carry the baby, and then the clone was killed after delivery. That happened about 15 minutes ago. And now Merrick's explaining this service with a smile.
Fucking A.
All genetically...
Fuck, yeah. Damn. We'll get through this. We will get through this. I have no doubt. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Hollywood is crazy, man. I don't know if you've been there, checked it out. Is that where we met? Maybe, Sue. I don't know, but one of those meetups, I met you. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Hollywood is crazy, bro. They gotta tell you, man. This shit's crazy, right in your face.
Didn't want to go through pregnancy, so she had her clone carry the baby, and then the clone was killed after delivery. That happened about 15 minutes ago, and now Merrick's explaining this service with a smile. All genetically indistinguishable from your own, and in compliance with the eugenics laws of 2015. Eugenics laws? Remember, this film came out in 2005, so 2015? Is this projecting a timeline? And then Merrick says, all our agnates are maintained in a persistent vegetative state. They never achieve consciousness.
Well, that's an interesting time, 2015, man. That's when I first said, hey, man, what's up with satellites or something? I remember I was working a gig with the producer, a sound engineer guy, and we went through sound check, and it was good. And he pulled me aside and said, hey, man, all these satellites are fake, bro. Yeah. And you live here. There's a dome. He showed me pictures. He's flipping through his phone, man. I was like, dude, satellites are real, man. I got pictures of satellites in space, bro. Let me get right back to you, bro. I'll get right back to you. And he said, hey, man, where's that evidence for satellites? And I'm like, I'm working on it, bro. I'm working.
Is this projecting a timeline?
It didn't work out, man.
And then Merrick came. Man. Remember, this film came out in 2005. So 2015, is this projecting a
2015, shout out to 2015. That's my point. Shout out.
Timeline? And then Merrick says, all our agnates are maintained in a persistent vegetative state. They never achieve consciousness. So this is key. In order to sell this product, they have to lie. They never think or suffer, or feel pain, joy, love, hate. It's a product, ladies and gentlemen, in every way that matters. Not human. Okay, but we the viewers know that's a lie, because we just spent the last 50 minutes watching these products laugh, cry, fall in love, ask questions, and fear death. Merrick knows they're conscious. Then Merrick introduces Whitman, his public relations director, the seller. He says, I want to talk about the smartest investment you'll ever make, and I want to tell you how you're going to live 60 to 70 years longer. There it is. They're selling life extension. And if you can extend life by 60 to 70 years with this tech, that means they have the tech for effective immortality. They just aren't saying that out loud.
Take that, Mongos.
But watch. Now we get introduced to this black French guy called Laurent. Albert Laurent, Black Hawk Security, he arrives by Black Helicopter. So Black Projects. Merrick introduces him as highly recommended by the Defense Department. His men are ex-Delta Force, SEALs. Laurent himself is former GIGN, French Special Forces. My interpretation of this scene is, this is American intelligence and French intelligence working together on a classified project funded by the Defense Department at $120 billion. They're telling you this is Black Projects. Laurent says, I understand you had corporate theft. Merrick says, yes, that's what I told the Defense Department. The reality is a little more complex. So the Defense Department has something to do with this?
No shit.
But listen to what Merrick says here. After several years of trial and error, we discovered that without consciousness, without human experience, emotion, without life, the organs failed. meaning they tried to make vegetative clones and it didn't work. The organs need a living, feeling, conscious human being attached to them or they deteriorate. The entire business model is built on a lie about consciousness. Again, this directly connects to part 3. But pay attention. This scene has another one of those camera metaphors. While Merrick explains all of this to Laurent, the film intercuts with Lincoln and Jordan in the desert. Because think about what's happening right now. You're witnessing certain secrets. During all this, Lincoln and Jordan, the escaped clones, are now in the desert, and there's clearly a cinematic emphasis on showing how dead everything is. This is them leaving the Garden of Eden. Some more biblical references. Okay, but they eventually show up to these ruins. Looks a little strange.
They
There's a
show
shot
up
where
to
he
the
throws a glass
Tartaria,
bottle in
Mongo.
frustration and it shatters.
Oh,
And then
hey, guess what? We showed up at the Tartaria ruins too, man. We showed up at Tartaria ruins. Yeah, we showed up, man. We were busy, bro. We're super busy and checking out the Tartaria ruins. Come on, this is crazy. Yeah, interesting. 2005, man. Wow. Okay. The ruins, man. The ruins.
okay, but they eventually show up to the
What is the ruins? Does anybody have a timeline for the ruins? I don't think so. Nobody's got no timeline for ruins. I mean, ruins are ruins. They could be old. They could be new. We don't know. Yeah, ruins are ruins. Dude, I went to this place called Chaco Canyon, and it was like these Indian ruins. They said they were like 15,000 years old. I don't know. It's here in America. It's New Mexico. I went to Chaco Canyon. I checked it out, man. I'm like, fuck, I don't know how long ago these Mongos were hanging out, smoking a peace pipe, whatever. I don't know. Fucking, I got stories, bro. That's all I got. But yeah, these people showed up at ruins, and apparently ruins are a big thing.
These ruins.
They're big. They're big.
looks a little strange.
Yeah, it looks
Okay,
a
but
little
the
strange,
Garden of
man.
Eden.
Looks a little strange.
Some more biblical references. Okay, but they eventually show up to these ruins. Looks a little strange. There's a shot where he throws a glass bottle in frustration and it shatters. And then in silence they hear a rattlesnake. So the symbolism is, they broke the glass ceiling and encountered the snake of truth.
They broke
The real world
the
is harsh.
ceiling.
They're essentially making a comparison. Is the real world much better than our designed paradise? Yes, it's way better. But they want to
Way
program
better.
you with that.
It's Tartarian.
So they do this
better.
multiple times.
All right.
The clones don't even...
It's so much better. It's Tartarian better. Has anybody ever said that? No. It was so good, it was Tartarian. I'm talking about Tartar, bro. I mean, I can go big here. That's it.
want to program you with that. So they do this multiple times. The clones don't even know what the rattlesnake is. They've never seen an animal out in the wild. Okay, but the occult symbolism here is the rattlesnake is the
Mongols.
serpent, but it's inverted. In Genesis, the serpent was the deceiver. Here, the snake is proof that life exists outside and that the contamination is a lie. The real world is dead. The serpent is the truth. This is Gnostic inversion. And while this is going on, Merritt continues his exposition over these desert shots. Keep that in mind. As he's saying this, the clones are now in these ruins. Obviously intentional. But it's not just ruins. It's a temple. Listen to what Merrick says. We control them with the memory of a shared event, a global contamination. It keeps them fearful of going outside. Does that remind you of anything? The island is the one thing that gives them hope.
Yeah, it reminds me of 2020, and we could not go outside. It was a problem. No outside for you Mongos. How dare you go outside? How dare you? You people are the outside. You're bad people. Very, very bad people.
Does that remind you of anything? The island is the one thing that gives them hope, gives them purpose.
The globe is the one thing that gives you hope, gives you purpose. The globe. The globe gives you purpose. It does. It gives you purpose. How else can I defend the globe? It's my purpose. Oh, fucking.
And with the memory of a shared event, a global contamination. It keeps them fearful of going outside.
This movie is from 2005.
Does that remind you of anything? The island is the one thing that gives them hope, gives them purpose. Everything we expose them to, their programs, their cartoons, books, the games they play, are designed to manage aggression and reinforce simple social skills. Do you hear what he's saying? This isn't about clones anymore. This is about the Hollywood propaganda mechanism. That's literally what the media does. That's what the entertainment does. That is what you are watching right now. A program. And the director of this film is telling you that through the mouth of the villain. To avoid obvious complications, they aren't imprinted with an awareness of sex. We find it simpler to eliminate the drive altogether. So they removed sexuality from the clones entirely. And the Merrick says, in a very real sense, they're like children. Children. The clones are like children. They're educated to a level of a 15-year-old. Okay, but what's crazy is that this connects to the files. There's an EFTA that talks about a robot with childlike intelligence. Okay, but really pay attention here, because this is a detail that unless you're experienced with occult film analysis, most viewers would completely miss this. Now this is two scenes at once. The Intel secret scene and the clones in the ruins of a temple scene. Look at the pillars. This exposition, all of Merrick's dialogue, plays while Lincoln and Jordan are sleeping in the temple. They fall asleep in what looks like a ruined temple. Then the Merrick scenes play. So basically, as this is going on, the full secret of their reality is revealed. Then, Lincoln wakes up with the one-eye symbolism. They're actually really on the nose with it. What this means is, they fell asleep in the temple, and the exposition played as a dream. Then, they woke up with the knowledge that they couldn't have heard. This is temple sleep. In ancient mystery traditions, initiates would sleep in the temple and receive visions and knowledge during the night. The Freemasons literally practice a version of this in their degree ceremonies. And so, it would seem, the director of this film, not Michael Bay, encoded a temple sleep initiation sequence into a Hollywood blockbuster. The audience is the initiate. You went to sleep in the theater, you received knowledge through Merrick's mouth, and now you wake up knowing the truth. You literally just got secretly initiated and didn't know it. You don't believe it? You'll see the truth by the end of this video. So now Lincoln's awake, and a motorcycle drives by on the highway. So we realize that they're near a road, and they find these signs. Route 39. And then we see the matchbox from earlier, the one that held the bug. And it says Aces and Spades, where Route 39 meets the Tucson Skies. So they're in Arizona. Now they have the address, and this matchbox was from Mac, the guy from Sector 6 who handled the pods. So they start heading down this road to find this Aces and Spades place. Now here's some more cinematic encoding that I feel like most people would think is a reach. It's a foreshadowing element. Now you tell me, you see this palm tree? That's a phallic curve. You think that's a reach? It's essentially suggesting that the next scene is sexually charged. And would you look at that? The two clones walk into a bar that's basically a PG-13 strip club, with more brand advertisements. And yes, I'm pointing this out for a reason. There are many sexually charged elements.
Gotta have the Budweiser, the worst beer ever in all of human history. Gotta have a Budweiser.
And yes, I'm pointing this out for a reason. There are many sexually charged elements in this movie connected to the clones. Literally, Jordan is an innocent childlike clone. She gets offered a Jack Daniels and doesn't even know what it is. Remember, these clones have zero awareness of the real world, of alcohol, of social dynamics. And some guy at the bar is already trying to take advantage of her, getting her drunk, asking for her number. She doesn't even understand the concept. The film keeps coding these sexual predator dynamics around Jordan wherever they go in the real world. So they meet up with Buscemi. Buscemi gets mad at this guy hitting on Jordan. They go back to the bathroom, and there's this really weird scene that again is sexually charged. In the next scene, they go to Mac's house. Okay, now this is really weird. One of the first shots of this scene is a life-size hula dancer doll. Okay, take note of that. Then we find out that he has a wife that's way out of his league. Now look, I'm not trying to be mean. Not at all. I just think this is on purpose. I mean, it's Steve Buscemi, guys. I think most of us can agree there's something weird about this. I'm pointing out the trophy wife aspect for a reason. He's like extremely mean to her, and she's so nice. It doesn't make any sense. But there are some subtle signals here that I will break down, but I just want you to notice that. He like owns her. Mac tells her to shut up and sends the wife out for beer, and then sits Lincoln and Jordan down. Lincoln says, "Why do they lie, Mac?" "To keep you from knowing what you are." "What are we?" Mac says, "Man, why do I have to be the guy who tells the kids there's no Santa Claus?" Okay, look.
Mongos.
You're not like me. I mean, you're not human. I mean, you're human, but you're just not real. You're not like a real person. Like me.
Mongos.
You're clones. You're copies of people out here in the real world. Some hag trophy wife needs new skin for a facelift, or one of them gets sick and they need a new part. They take it from you. Interesting that they actually added trophy wife into the dialogue. Note that.
Note that.
And then Jordan says, "But I have a mother. I remember her. I grew up on a farm. I have a little dog and I have a bike." Mike cuts her off. Right. No, those are memory imprints. I've seen them. A buddy of mine is a programmer at the Institute. He showed me. Institute? Then he says there's 12 stories. They change around.
Hey, you flat earthers are fucking crazy, man. You guys, you flat earthers look like this guy, man. 1111, Mongo. Let's go. Let's do this 1111, bro. We gotta go. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah. Interesting timing for 1111, I think. That's very interesting. That's what most people think flat earthers look like. Is this guy right there. Hey man, this whole system's like fucked up, man, bro. Yeah. Welcome. Just welcome.
Seen them. A buddy of mine is a programmer at the Institute. He showed me. Institute? Then he says there's 12 stories. They change around little details, but they're all pretty much the same. So the clones are given 12 fake histories, and they just swap out small details like the color of the bike or the name of the grandmother, but the structure's identical. Every clone thinks that they had a unique childhood, but it's just the same 12 templates recycled over and over. Memory uploading, installed during the MK Ultra room programming. But think about how this relates to the real world. How many histories do we have? How many versions of the same story do we all share? The life you think you had before the contamination, it never happened. So how long have we been alive? Mac tells him that you're Echo Generation, so you're 3. Delta means you're 4. 3 years old, 4 years old? Okay, but this is actually a plot hole. We found out earlier that Sarah Jordan's sponsor was in a car accident and needs organs within 48 hours. But Jordan has been alive for 4 years? There are a few more plot holes like this as the story continues, but I started thinking, what if the story wasn't their focus? It's the blueprint in your face that was their focus. They didn't care enough to fix the lore because the lore wasn't the point. The encoding was. Max says, the whole reason you exist is because everyone wants to live forever. It's the new American dream. And there's people out there that are rich enough to pay anything for it.
The American dream. Oh boy, here we go. It's the new American dream. Live forever. Yeah, I think that's something, man. I think there's something to that, for sure.
Exist is because everyone wants to live forever. It's the new American dream. And there's people out there that are rich enough to pay anything for it. Lincoln says, don't people care that they kill us? That they take parts from us? That's a shout out. They don't.
That's a shout out. That's a fucking shout out, man. 100%.
They take parts from us? That's a shout out. They don't know. They think you're vegetables simmering in a jelly sack. Why do you think Merrick has you stuck in an old military bunker below ground? So the lab is underground, and it's an old military bunker. Underground labs in the desert. Then he makes...
Interesting. Very
bunker.
interesting.
Underground labs in the desert. Then he makes a strange analogy. Just because people want to eat the burger doesn't mean they want to meet the cow. That's a cattle reference. Your sponsors? They're like high society, rich and famous. Okay, boom. This is a reference to Hollywood, the real power structure, to people who fund these programs in real life. And if the sponsors knew the truth, Merrick would be out of business. Which inverted means if the public knew the truth about what these people actually do, the entire system collapses.
Oh,
Our
shit.
entire
Oh, Mongo shit. Yeah. I think that's kind of the point of the file release. It's like, man, we're getting a glimpse into the real shit, man. Hey, man. The whole system collapses, man. They got to go to war in Iran because, you know, this could collapse some shit, bro. Yeah, we got to get a new narrative going, bro. What's that movie called? Oh shit, he referenced it. Wag the Dog. Oh my.
Which inverted means
Wag the
if the
dog.
public knew the truth about what these people actually do, the entire system collapses. Our entire world's framework actually depends on it.
Hey, guess what, flat earthers? Yeah, we're the ones like say, man, what's up with the globe? The system's collapsing. That's why you got so much flack. That's why, man. Fuckers.
Or at least it seems that's what
Fuckers.
this movie is saying. Lincoln makes a decision. We have to find our sponsors and tell them the truth. The real truth. So I will say there is an element of exposure in this movie. It seems as if they're highlighting all the issues with this reality as well. Almost like a warning and a mocking at the same time, strangely. So now Mac decides to help them out. He tells them their sponsors' names. Tom Lincoln and Sarah Jordan. The number in their name is a regional code. 6 Echo means your sponsor lives in LA. So they gotta go out of state. Alright, but this scene is super weird and random. But I would say it's intentional. He brings Jordan into the back room to change some clothes. He says, oh no, you're gonna wanna come in here. And then he brings her into this room that's clearly sexually charged. There's lingerie and outfits hanging everywhere. They even have this weird chair and mask. It's clearly been used. And then he starts handing her literally sexual cosplay outfits to put on. Like a maid outfit, a nurse outfit. And then look at this. He literally pulls a bra out of the closet to see if it would fit her. He's imagining her in the clothing. Now, you may think this is a reach, but remember the EFTA about sexy androids with a gorgeous realistic face and mind uploading? So this is what Steve Buscemi does with his wife? He has a private cosplay collection? And then Max says, these are bags, okay? You put stuff in them. Backpacks for boys, purses for girls. Understand? But look at the context. They are standing in his sex room and he's speaking to her like she's a 5-year-old. Backpacks for boys, purses for girls. And she even says, we're not idiots. But listen to what he says. He says, well, excuse me, miss, I'm so smart I can't wait to go to the island. So he's mocking her. This scene happens fast, so you really wouldn't notice it. But he holds up lingerie and says, people don't really wear these on the outside. These are mail order, okay? These stay here. Clones don't wear these. So what is the point of this scene? Think about it. Who is Mac? He's a maintenance guy at an underground cloning facility who somehow has a supermodel wife who's freaky beyond belief, has a sex room, outfits, lingerie everywhere, and now he's speaking to a clone of Scarlett Johansson like she's a child. That's because she is a child who never has seen a bra before. But Mac's wife, that beautiful woman from earlier, who is she? Can we just be real for a second? Buscemi? Really? Okay, so hear me out. This isn't really a part of the analysis. I'd categorize this more as a fan theory. But if correct, it does add more weight to the thesis. And obviously there is some background lore here, but it's just never explained. My theory is, Mac's wife is actually a sex clone. It seems that someone actually wrote that into the script, but they didn't elaborate on it. Now I can't prove that, but I'll let you decide.
Alright. I'm going to let you guys decide. I got to go to bed. We'll pick it up. I'm, time mark. About an hour and 36 minutes in. Alright. Cheers, everybody. We're going to pick it up tomorrow, next day, I don't know. One of those days. But yeah. What a shit show, huh? Oh my goodness. Welcome welcome to Hollywood, Mongos. Shit show from hell. Yeah, I hate it. I do. I fucking hate it, but I gotta expose it. Gotta expose it. That's all we gotta do, man. Alright. Love you guys. Cheers. Alright.